Hey, it's Amanda, and you are watching a segment from 100 Videos in 100 Days. This started out as a challenge to myself to prove that freedom can come from authenticity and vulnerability, and that life doesn't have to be perfect or look perfect, it doesn't have to feel perfect to be valuable, to really be valuable. And that you don't have to wait to share your gifts till it all looks a certain way. And this is also about what the cost is of waiting to share your gifts. I didn't have a YouTube channel before this. I never did a video of myself. I didn't even like to see myself in camera. So am I scared every time I do this? Yes. But I'm here. I'm showing up, because I'm committed to this conversation about freedom. And the freer I get, I believe the freer you will get. So I invite you to participate as you can. There's no editing here. I get one take. So if it all goes to hell, you go with me. There may be swearing, there may be crying. I may get up and walk around. It's the game. It's authentic and vulnerable. I will look different every day. So that's really the point of it, is in life there's no editing, there's no redos. So who are you going to be? How are you going to show up? What would that look like? And what would be possible if you just showed up exactly as you were and let the cards fall? Would that be freeing? It is to me. And if it is to you, I hope you get something out of these. If there's anything that I say that rubs you wrong or feels off, discard it immediately. It's not for you. It's for whoever needs it, and most likely for me. So when this turns off and the next one turns on, I will be sitting here quietly with my eyes closed. You're not walking into any special session that you're not supposed to see. Everything's transparent here. So I started this to have context in the beginning, because I can see people are jumping in the middle of the series, and I just want to make sure everyone feels included. So I will see you soon. So I think I'd like to start these, when I can remember anyway, is with how I'm feeling in this moment. I think it's a good practice for me. So how I'm feeling in this moment is confused, I guess a little bit of resistance to doing this today. Mostly because my mind's like, we don't have anything, and it says it every day. So I reminded it today, I'm like, this is number 29. You've said this every morning. And it's like you forget you said it. You keep going, oh yeah, that thing we have nothing to say, so let's cancel. My body's feeling pretty good. I mean, a little tired considering, but yesterday I was dealing with a lot of that pain, and last night, and I just watched it come and go. And how it used to work is, if I even felt an inkling of it, I freaked out, got scared, laid in bed, was already upset, could already see this future that was horrible. It wasn't going to get well, pain would never end. I'd fail my kids, I'd be a failure, I'd let everybody down. no hope, all that stuff. Just by any kind of pain or sensation in my body, that's where my brain would go. So I'm much better about stepping back and just watching. One thing I was noticing about this thing that we say, like, in this moment I feel, you know, and it's the same thing to say, in this moment my mind is saying no, or in this moment I'm experiencing this conversation in my head. I can't believe how important it is to distinguish that for yourself. And even really with other people, because I know we like to think that we're observing people and their behavior, but because we apply the same thing of their being this way, they feel really heavy when they're around, or they feel this, or they're acting that way, then we assign it to them, and then our mind projects it way out. So the next time they want to come over, they could be in a totally different space, but because we assigned, and that's who they are forever, they don't even get a chance to be anything different. And we want to be able to say, well, that's how I was for 5 minutes, but now I'm in a better mood, or now I feel like I could do that thing, or call someone and say, I know I said no, but now I'd like to, or I know I said yes, but that doesn't work for me. We feel locked in, but we're doing that to the same people all the time. The second they do something that feels uncomfortable to us, it's like, yep, I knew it. That's how they always are. And, you know, people sometimes will ask me about swearing, and I'm like, I have no problem with bad language. None. I think it's actually a form of self-expression. What I do have a problem with is inaccurate language. Not a grammar Nazi, nothing like that. But it's when people say, I always feel. It's not accurate. And the only reason that's a problem is because it's disempowering, and it tells a story that your mind will run with. So, you know, like yesterday I could have said, someone could have said, how were you? And I said, oh my gosh, I was in pain all day. No, I had moments of pain, and I had moments of no pain. That's accurate language. And I think we've always done this in society, you know, kids now say, I'm obsessed, or that is life, or whatever. I'm like, ugh, inaccurate language. And it's not that it's a problem, it's just that your mind actually starts to process things that way. Like, you mean that's really life? Well, shoot, we better get all of it right now. So I like accurate language, and I like to know what things mean. Like when people say, you should be nice, well, actually you should be kind. Well, it's beneficial to be kind. Kind is when you're kind to yourself, you're coming from an authentic place, and you're kind to others, and that also means boundaries inside of it. So kindness is an honest yes or an honest no. That's kind to yourself, it's kind to them. But it doesn't look pretty or nice. It has nothing to do with the other. Nice is to do it to get along. It's plain safe. It used to, one of the definitions used to be dumb and stupid. So when people say stop being so nice, it's stop being steamrolled or playing along or lying because you want acceptance, you don't want to make waves. Be kind because you're standing in your own presence. And they'll sort themselves out, and you will be able to stay on your path of where you need to go. It makes a huge difference. Because if you do something that you don't want to do and you're there, it's uncomfortable. It's weird for them, it's weird for you. There's resentment, there's all these other weird emotions going on, and no one knows what's going on. Like, what's the weird feeling about? And passive-aggressive comments come out, or, well, I went and helped so-and-so, but I didn't want to, but she asked me even when I don't want to. I mean, these stories just go on and on. And that's why being kind is so important. That's why accurate language is important. Because our society is built on language, and those agreements that we have that keep society going a certain way are built on our language. So it really needs to be accurate. Fucking accurate. To be accurate. So that's why I think when we're granting this being to ourselves in this moment, really sink down here when you see that someone's is agitating you. Realize it's bringing something up in you. You want to be able to feel freely, but you don't want them to be able to feel freely. It's going to make you feel something you don't want to feel. And then we get to this control game. But if you can remember, oh, in that moment, that's how they're expressing. It doesn't mean theirs isn't a conversation to have, like, hey, what's going on with you? Or, I noticed this, is there anything I can do to make a difference? Is there something you need to say to be here? I mean, there's all sorts of options to actually engage it, but it's temporary, just like yours is temporary. And to remember that also, like I had a comment last night when I've been sharing more on Facebook about not necessarily the videos themselves, but just concepts I've been thinking about as I write or do the videos. And I noticed the more I talk about authenticity and vulnerability, some people are like, yeah, this is awesome. They also happen to be watching the videos probably, so they're kind of in that space. And the people I know that have fought for authenticity and vulnerability and possibility are like, that's unrealistic. So I don't even know where it's coming from. They probably are having a bad day. And I said, you know, something, and then they said something like, you can't have relationships that way and life just starts beating you down and people are assholes. And so I get that it didn't really sound like them, but it was just funny how I see that here I am taking on this topic of freedom through authenticity and vulnerability, which I have to step into every day because people have something to say about it. And a lot of people do not want to talk about it. They want to see it and they want to feel it from other people, but talking about it just rattles people's cages. They get really nervous and they go into their stories about, well, yeah, but you've got to know who you're talking to. You got to watch out, you got to be protective. Okay, here's how I see full self-expression. And there's a quote, and I've got to find it somewhere, but I remember posting it, and it said something to me like, the bravest people are the people that can open their heart to everybody, like unconditionally. And so people step in and go, well, yeah, but you have to be careful, and you know, you shouldn't put everything out there and all this stuff. Well, to me, and this is for me, that's prison. That's hell. And what I don't understand is, like, how would that not be completely freeing? So I realized there's a story there that they have, that you do have to protect certain things. You can't trust everyone. And that you know, they said something like, you have to protect yourself, you have to have boundaries. And I said, but I think the people that truly are the most loving and can put their heart out there for anybody to see, to comment on, whatever it is, they tend to have very good boundaries because they love themselves first and foremost. That's a huge distinction between just running around with your heart open and blabbing everything. That almost has an inauthentic. It's just, please love me, like I have all these things and just love me. But at least they're expressing something. I'd rather that than them just being like, it's good, I'm all good, yeah, everything's great. So I'd rather them say something. But if you can just lay it out there, come what may, and they can say weird stuff, they can see great stuff, they can whatever, but you can't access the great and the possible if you're not willing to gamble on the other. And the other stuff has nothing to do with you. It doesn't. That's the space they're in that moment they're in it. It doesn't mean that they won't shift over to the other side. So it's been interesting to watch that because this is the thing everybody genuinely wants. But a large group are going to attack it and that it can exist because they feel like they'd have to go to another place to get that, or they think everyone else would have to change around them to create a safe space so they could be authentic. And it doesn't work that way. It's not authentic. That's trying to control someone to get an outcome. Being vulnerable is being authentic in the space of you don't know what's coming, but you're going to give it a shot. And then you'll deal with what happens afterwards. But you can't worry about it beforehand. Just like pain's coming, if sickness is coming, if bills are coming, you handle it in the moment you handle it. But I think it's funny how I get when I'm seeing, because the more I do this, I'm seeing that I really want to step forward into this conversation more and more because the results I'm seeing around me are so huge, even for myself, my kids, friends, some of you, you know, I tend to get a lot of messages. People don't necessarily post. Everyone has to message me or text me about it. So I feel like people could learn more if people were actually sharing on the boards, but I get there's still a place of wanting to be private. But it makes me feel like when they tell Katniss or whoever that they can't win, you know, some heroine, you know, you can't win, and all she does is sitting there like, She's putting more arrows in her, I don't know what you call it, in her bow and arrows. She's ready. She's just sitting there like, I'm going for it anyway. Because what's the option? Seriously, what is the option? And that's fine. They can tell me, no, it won't work. Well, then perfect. It won't work with them. They're clearly a no in that moment. So why keep going back to try and convince them when they're a no? Go where someone is interested in what's possible, because they're going to be able to move it forward. You know, they're going to be easier partner with me to do this. It's kind of like, and I posted today about the medical world because just randomly I looked up different diseases, autoimmune diseases, different ones I'd heard about. I mean, lots of things I'd never heard about. I just wanted to see what the medical reports were about them. And every one of them said that it was, there was no cure. And what I felt would be more accurate would be to say, from a pharmaceutical point of view, we have no cure for you. Outside of our realm, something else may be possible. But they don't say that. And yet I see people get well all the time, living an authentic life, forgiving where they didn't even know they needed to forgive. Listening to their bodies, listening to their emotions, working through things. They get well. They don't even need the medicine. It happens all the time. Am I saying we don't need doctors? Of course I'm not saying that. But are they trained to get people well? No. They're trained to give you a pill, and the pill doesn't even get you well either. It just covers things up. So it's kind of like these people that, you know, you go to and you want to share possibility, or you want them to be authentic, and they're like, no, you can't do that. It's like going to a doctor and you've got a disease and they're just like, yeah, no, there's no hope, like there's no cure. Well, why do you keep going to the same doctors that are saying no, that there's no possibility for you? I mean, why not look for yourself, ask for yourself, why am I putting my future, my possibility in with someone that's just a no? That could be a relationship, that could be a business, that could be with someone you just want to share with and they're not ready for it. Doesn't matter. Why keep repeating going to the places that people say no because we've been told we're supposed to? You know, go to this official, go to this person, and if they say no because they can't see as anything's possible or they can't make money that way, why do we keep going back just because we were taught to go there? Just because, well, someone said we have to do it this way. That's such a limited perspective. I mean, think of all the things in your life you'd like to accomplish and someone said no. Well, then they weren't the ones to give you the answer. Then just go to the next person. Just keep asking and asking yourself why you're settling for no's. Is it just easier? Is it less stressful? Because if you're still sick or you're still stuck in a business or you're still stuck with a partner and it's always just a no, then that's up to you to start inquiring as to why you're settling for the no and where else is possible for a yes. Because all these things are temporary in the moment. In the moment this doctor says no, and maybe he said no 5 times. So stop going back to where you get no's. Don't go to the same bank or the same investor or the same partner who is just a no. Because that's a clear sign for you to move along if you're actually interested in something else possible in your life. I had plenty of doctors that said no. Surgeons that said I wouldn't get well, my back would never get well. And I just didn't accept it. And the times when I have, it's because I didn't want to be responsible for my life anymore. I have people in my family and friends that they accept their diagnoses because, well, it could be for many reasons, but it just seems at the end of the day, like they can just say, well, that's the way it is. It's just this way. And then they just are alive but dead. And because I have a part of me that doesn't believe that that's accurate, I fight it. So when I accept a no in my life, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just how it is, I try and force feed it to myself. Like, well, everyone else seems to think that's how it is. I'd fit in better, maybe I'd feel better if I just didn't worry about it. And it's just a no. I mean, I can't walk, or my tendons are going to be destroyed, or whatever. But then there's just this fight in me that's just like, no, I don't think that that's real. I don't. Because I know when I've been in pain. I know when things have failed in business. I know whatever. It's because I'm sticking with someone else that's saying no, and it just feels easier to go along with the no. Instead of going and finding a yes. I gotta be a yes to myself first. So you got to look and see if you actually want the yes, if you're ready for the yes, what's scaring you to have the yes, and then go find someone that says, yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's look. Can't hurt anything. Well, I realized this was kind of all over the place, but that's how it popped up. So no's are here for you to say, I can't help you. It doesn't mean it's the truth. It just means I'm not the one for the job. But find the person that is for the job. But you got to find the yes in yourself first, and then you can find the yes people. Because you're open to possibility. Then you'll find the people that are open to possibility. And giving people the ability to be where they are in the moment. If they're against authenticity and vulnerability in the moment, it is in the moment. And I've taken on a big game here. I've taken on the thing that's like in the crux of everything that irritates people. That's what I do. Troublemaker. I really don't want to be. I just don't want to live in a world where people can't be who they are. I was reading an article today about this guy that's healed all these different people. It was just a random thing that popped up on Facebook or something. And I was reading it, and the guy was saying about, these are people that are clinically diagnosed that cannot get well, period. It's genetic, it's whatever. And he's like, I taught him to start telling the truth to themselves and to the world, to say yes when they wanted to say yes, to say no when they wanted to say no, to go after what they want. It just went on, and I was just laughing like, yeah, exactly what we're doing right here. Every day. Not necessarily in a coaching situation like that, but it's just me doing that, and then it's expanding out there to you to see what maybe that looks like or what it feels like to you or where it's shifting in you. So it was just interesting to see someone that's looking at it at a clinical perspective, and it's the same process. And yet to have so many people that want to shut that down, and it's because they don't want to feel. Because that's what we've been taught. Here, take a pill, and then you won't have to feel anything. So crazy. As we were given the tools to be well, to be successful, to live fully, but we've believed in a few weird concepts. Like, these are negative emotions. The doctors know what's going on. The politicians are in charge of this. And so-and-so has the final say over you. I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's in most moments. I don't think so. So I invite any of you that are finding no's in your life to stop going to the people who are saying no, look for yeses, and make sure you're a yes first. And maybe if you're really a yes, that person that was a no will be inspired by it and start to be open to something else. That happens a lot too. The girl downstairs that's helping me, my daughter, so I'm in this empty room so you would be able to hear better. She's been a no for a long time. And suddenly I'm here being a yes, and now she's a yes, 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 just moving, going. And now she's calling me out on stuff. It's hilarious. You start to feel like you have these partners that are yes partners, and it's fun. It's okay to resist it. It's okay to feel like you're sticking out. It's okay to feel awkward. It's all there for you to just learn and grow and see, oh, I felt awkward for a moment. You didn't feel awkward forever. That's people's biggest fear about feeling, is that they think, and that means I'll feel it forever. No. Probably for a few minutes, a few hours, and even then you won't feel it straight for a few hours. It still goes like this. So be accurate with your language. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel sick. I feel... Watch. Be accurate with your words. It grounds you. It keeps you centered. And it doesn't let your mind run off into a story of, oh, see, we're never going to get well. Nothing's possible. Just stop. Stop watching her crazy videos. She's weird. She's full of crap. Or whatever. So, I'll see you tomorrow for number 30.